Because I don't think Mama wanted me to have the phone. That's why I see that.
Do you want to do this?
Okay. All of us share the same planet, and one would think we would refrain from polluting and littering on her by the 21st century. But currently, we still have societal designs in which underlines the exact opposite and threaten economic and environmental sustainability on our planet. What we have now turns out trajectories far beyond the imagination of what you could think would be true. The economic and environmental status of today is a very real threat. Pollution and economic disparity is something we all must face, as it is facing right back at us in the mirror. Not one of us agrees in the morning to kill the planet or to hurt each other, but through archaic systems being held, they are promoting such behaviors, unfortunately. The term structural violence is a result of issues that could have been avoided if the economic status was okay for the individual, opposed to being impoverished. An example of this would be if someone couldn't afford health care and could have had medicine to cure or avoid an early death from an illness or injury. Furthermore, environmental degradation could be slowed and reversed from our current status that we witness today, which is nearly every life cycle on Earth in decline. The oceans are becoming so polluted, you would not believe some of these projections, and one that I'm about to tell you. Referencing an article from the BBC from 2016, there are projections of potentiality of more plastic in the ocean than fish by weight by 2050. Referencing Mike Barrett, we have lost 1/2 of the animal population, and we know this is driven by human consumption. This is clearly a call to arms, and we must act now. This is quoted by the Director of Science and Policy at the WWF. Structural violence resulting from poverty causes humanity an array of avoidable issues. Sourcing the World Health Organization, cardiovascular disease ranks highest in poverty as the #1 killer of diseases worldwide. This underlines the idea of you purchasing cheap foods because you're on a cheap budget. So ramen noodles all of a sudden seems more suitable, and so on and so forth. Referencing a great article from the Times Union by John Batchelor, poverty also hinders our children's ability to learn and achieve due to obstacles created by impoverished circumstances. And with a little bit of imagination, that's not too hard to see. If you have 2 family members that are working, stressed out, not paying the bills, that's going to trickle down into the home. Referencing Jacques Fresco from Paradise or Oblivion, the documentary from 2012, the system is destined to fail as automation replaces labor, people lose their purchasing power, and we're producing an abundance of items at the same time. That has never been done. The solution to each drastic issue could be found by fine-tuning our systems to a more logical, scientific, humanitarian approach. The issues we face today worldwide is due to a lack of education on alternative systems and solutions. And then we have economic failures, which thus lead to environmental disasters. A natural resource-based economy, advocated by Jacques Fresco, is a systems approach opposed to today's consumerism culture that we especially experience here in the West. Referencing Peter Joseph, founder of the Zeitgeist movement from a TED Talk, the consequence of not implementing a natural resource-based economy is an ever-increasing level of social destabilization and ongoing decline in public health. So the question is, where do we go from here? The environmental and economic crisis we face today is something that we've created, and it could cause future generations to never even see a clean ocean, as we have all had the privilege to see. And the endless deaths that we'll witness in wars and structural violence is due to the current monetary model that is used globally. A natural resource-based economy, however, is a systems approach using the best of science and the best that we know how in the fields of sociology and psychological behaviors. It bypasses the banking monetary system by focusing directly on the issues at hand, and will utilize the scientific approaches to create societies that meet the needs of all people, excluding none, no social stratification. To quote the great late Jacques Fresco of the Venus Project, he said, "We have the brains and the know-how to build an entirely new civilization." Now the question remains, will we, and what will we do? Thank you. And this is just a picture of some children starving, which obviously can be averted. And when you ever work in the restaurant business, you instantly witness you throw food away all the time. So is that logical? Is that humanitarianism? I think we can do better. So advocate a resource-based economy, learn what you can do, talk to your senators, talk to your congressmen and women, get our voices out there, and let's get some taxpayer money and create a project and show them that it works. Thank you, guys.